Hello, greetings everybody. I want to welcome you here to Prog Monster. This is a channel that is dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. My name is Murph and I am the host of this channel. So today we're doing an episode of What's New. Comes out on Saturdays at 8. At least that's what the attempt will be, to have it out by 8 o'clock. So we're doing the album today that we're doing. I'm going to be wearing my glasses for this because I made a huge amount of notes here. So the album we're going to be doing is David Gilmour's Luck and Strange. This is a recent album by him, of course, because it's what's new. It was released this year. Released September the 6th, so about a month ago, I guess. Recorded at several studios: Medina Studio, Salvation Studio, British Grove Studio, Angel Studios, Astoria Studios, and Iguana Studios. It's about 43 minutes long, so that's well within the area that I like. 35 to 45 minutes tends to be optimal for me. On the Sony record label, and produced by David Gimour and Charlie Andrews. So this album, because it's a recent one, I think this is fifth studio album. If anybody thinks otherwise, you can correct me in the comment section below. But I'm pretty sure it's his fifth album. Lots of people appearing on this album, so I'm going to give you a little bit of I'm going to give you the list of them and what they played and when they played it. So basically, you got David Gilmour here, guitar, piano on the first track. Leading vocals on tracks 2 to 4 and 7 to 9. Ukulele on track number 3, bass on 3 and 8, organ on 3. Then you got backing vocals on tracks 2 to 4 and 6 to 8. Keyboards on tracks 6 and 9. Hammond organ, that is, on track 7. Bass on track 9. Piano on track 9. And Kumbas, whatever that is, I'm not sure what that is. Or is it Jumbas? I think it might be Jumbas on track number 8. That's curious. I'll have to look that up after and find out exactly what that is. It might be just a brand name for something. Next up is Richard Wright. Yes, the Richard Wright, who's passed away. So some of these tracks are recorded from the past. I think more than likely what's happened is they've recorded the tracks either recently, because these two are both tracks he's on are videos. Either were recorded while he was still, obviously recorded while he was still alive, and maybe were augmented for this album. That's probably what I suspect happened. He plays electric piano and Hammond organ. Next up, I think it says Rosemary Gilmour. I don't know if that's a typo, or maybe it's supposed to be Rosemary, but I think it's Rosemary Gilmour. She does lead vocals on track 6, backing vocals on tracks 2 to 4 and 6 to 8, and harp on tracks 5 and 6. Gabriel Gilmour, backing vocals on tracks 3 and 4. Rob Gentry, synthesizers on tracks 1 to 4 and 6 and 9. And keyboards on tracks 3, 6, 8, and 9, and piano on tracks 4, 6, 8, and 9, and then organ on track number 7. Roger Eno plays piano on tracks 1 and 9. Guy Pratt, bass on tracks 2, 3, 6 to 9. Adam Betts on percussion, tracks 2, 4, 6 to 9, and djembe on track 3, and drums on track 4. Steve DeSantolo drums on tracks 2, I believe. Steve Gadd, drums and percussion on tracks 3 and 6 to 9. Tom Herbert on bass on track 4. Edmund Aldhouse on organ and director of music for the Eli Cathedral. And then Eli Cathedral Choir vocals, Angel Studios Choir vocals, and Angel Studio Orchestra doing the orchestrational stuff, of course. Okay, so there's 9 tracks on this. Starts out with a short little over a minute long track called Black Cat, which is an instrumental. It's kind of a quiet, somber track, I guess you might want to call it. A little bit of piano, guitar, and synthesizers here. Okay track for an opening. Luck and Strange, the title track, of course, is next. A melodic, bluesy sounding older track. So this is a track that was, you could tell that they recorded. They may have added parts to it, not sure, but the video clearly shows Richard Wright playing piano in it, so must be a bit of an older track. It's got that very Floydish sound to it, which you might find if you're listening to it because of the keyboards and because of his Gilmour's vocals. And it's got a full orchestratal sound in it. I like this track, maybe the best on the album. Next up, we got The Piper's Call. This is another video. And it's by the sea. They're showing more of a water thing here. David Gilmour playing ukulele to start this out, and then moving to acoustic guitar at some point during the song. Another very kind of Floydish melodic and feel. Another kind of melodic Floydish sound to it, along with the vocals as well. He does use a slide guitar here. It's a bit of a whiny sound to it. It's a bit of a catchy song, like kind of orchestratals. Because of the orchestral song, it's kind of up-tempo a bit on certain parts of it. The slide guitar, though, really is kind of a little bit more dominant than some of the other guitar, except towards the end when he does the guitar solo. It's just not bad, but not an over. It doesn't have an overly Floyd sound to it, but it does have some of that, mostly because of his vocals and the keyboard parts. Okay, the next track up is one of the other two tracks. There's like three tracks that I kind of like the most. This is the next one like that. A Single Spark is the name of the song. It opens up with a kind of a catchy, slow, melodic melody and a catchy beat to the song. This is one of the few songs that actually has that going on. The vocals are deep and rich and clear, which is perfect for David Gilmour. Slow, melodic guitar solo with some kind of synthesizer and orchestral sounds in the background, filling it out and giving it that big sound. Next up is the Vidas Brevis, another instrumental. This one is a short, like almost a spit size song, very low intensity slide guitar, acoustic guitar part, with some synthesizer parts as background. So not a huge number here, just a small part. Between the 2 points, the next song, melodic, moody piece. This one has a female vocals. I assume this is Romary. She's clear, melodic, and in the medium range. She's not too high or too low, but just in that nice medium range. Her voice is clear and sounds good. And it ends with a very heavy, moody guitar solo. Next up is the Dark and the Velvet Nights. This is the last of the tracks that I liked quite a bit, and so I gave it a 6.5 as well. I don't have my pen here. I'm just going to make a notation here, but no big deal. Anyways, this track opens with a kind of a heavy, melodic, screechy sound to it. The vocals are strong and clear. Tempo picks up, and it's more of a doomy sound, but clear sounding nevertheless. Melodic heaviness at the end with another melodic guitar solo, which he seems to like to do throughout the album. There's quite a few of those. And again, the synthesizer, keyboard, symphonic, melodic backdrop going on throughout the song as well. Sings, which is the next track, slow melodic song with some dry melodic vocals, so it's got that kind of a dry feel to it, more up tempo towards the end of the track. Yeah, this one is not too memorable, to be honest. And then we get the last track, which is also the longest track on the album, called Scattered. It opens with a very symphonic, synthesizer, orchestrational, symphonic piece in the background, and that's pretty dominant throughout the track. The vocals are old sounding, melodic, and sporadic. the keyboards and synthesizers become more of a pronounced as the track moves along. So it's kind of a low intensity at the beginning, and then the track slowly starts to pick up. But it never becomes a it never picks up to the point where it's totally different than anything he does. Then you get this more heavier guitar drum part as it begins to pick up, and then he kind of ends with a kind of an acoustic dominated guitar part, which gives way to a moody, melodic, sorrowful guitar solo, like really kind of bluesy sounding guitar solo. Yeah, I think this was a good track, but not one of my favorites. So the overall feel of the album is not totally dissimilar from anything he's done in the past. It's well within that Floyd range of music, but I don't, when I'm listening to it, I don't really think of a Floyd album here. Couple of the songs at the beginning with Richard Wright in it, yes, there's a little bit more of that feeling, but not as much as it goes on. I just find it a very slow, melodic, sorrowful album with lots of moody, emotional guitar solos, which he tends to finish off almost all the songs with. So yeah, a good album, I think. But I've never been a huge fan of his solo work. I don't think it's bad by any stretch. It's just not something that, if I found it for a couple dollars, I probably would buy it, but not likely going to happen since it's a new album. That's hence the reason why I don't really have any David Gilmour stuff, because it's okay, but it's not something I want to spend a ton of money on, because I know I'm not going to listen to it a lot. And that's kind of how it always has been with him. I love his stuff with Pink Floyd because I love Pink Floyd's stuff. I think his vocals suit that band absolutely perfect. And the music is a little bit more up-tempo, a little bit quirkier, lots of noises, lots of things to listen to. Not so much with his solo stuff. But nevertheless, this is a decent album, and if you like David Gilmour's other stuff, you're going to like this one too. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of What's New, featuring guitar and vocalist from Pink Floyd doing his own solo stuff here, David Gilmour, and the album, which now I have forgot the name of, Luck and the Strange. So I hope that you've enjoyed this, and don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell. And any comments about the album, if you've had a chance to listen to it, it's easily findable online. It's all over YouTube. You can find it under Sony. You can find it a lot of places, so you should have no problem finding it if you want to listen to it, or if you want to download it, you can probably do that as well. I'm not a downloader, so I can't tell you how to do that. But other than that, I hope you've enjoyed this, and any comments, leave in the comment section, and we will see you next Saturday for another legend in music. We'll be doing John Anderson's new one next Saturday night at 8 o'clock, and we'll see you then. Take care and have yourself a good evening. Goodbye.